Well, hello, beautiful people, fellow travelers. Mila is over there. She is on her bed, which has been recently cleaned by me because, gosh darn it, she deserves it. And she is cleaning herself before she has her happy nappy because she's just eaten. She has her routine. She might be asleep until, I don't know, it's up to her, 8 PM, and then she'll come up then she'll wake up, she'll wanna eat, and then she'll wanna play for an hour or 2. Then she'll go outside, look at the birdies, yeah, and then she'll go to sleep. That's a pretty good life, right? So how is everybody? This is our Tea Time Tuesday get together. Thank you so much for joining us. We are having hot topics where you are in charge. You rule me. You get to do whatever you want within reason. We are blitzing away here. If you decide to like, share, subscribe, that would be great. Thank you also to the new members on Patreon, the new members on this channel, people in general. Let's give a l'chaim to everybody. Cheers, everybody. My new diet. Yes, and if you too want to clean up your diet, isn't that fun? Calorie counting and learning the proper way to eat and lose weight and heal your life. If you'd like to join us, we get together on Saturdays at noon. If you're at the Fairies and Angels level, and that's free information. For those of you who are interested, I'm a naturopathic doctor, and yeah, I'm back on the calorie restriction. Gosh darn it. And I feel so much better. I gotta say, I had 1,000 calories yesterday because I was looking at my calories because I'm mostly vegan right now. Yeah, and I ate everything I wanted, and I was putting all the calories into MyFitnessPal, and I had like 1,100 kcals, and I was like, I get to eat something, so I made myself an ice green tea, but I don't make it too strong at night. You make a regular green tea, and then you just put a splash of it in your ice water. What that does is it'll curb your appetite at night. So I did some of that, and I did some Hue almond chocolate, 2 squares, and it worked. I didn't have an appetite after that. It really works. Of course, I'm losing almost no weight, but it's not just about that. It's also about just eating food that is proper for our bodies. Let's turn the camera around. We're just spending a little time chit-chatting while people find the channel. Hi, Kirby Kid. Hi. Thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. Hi, Delilah Gillis. Thank you for helping out today. The amazing Geocosmic Valentine, extraordinary astrologer, and heart-centered remote viewer if you're looking to hire someone to do both. She also has a channel. Please check it out. Melody Harmon, beautiful flowers. I love that color, and I thank you for sending them to me. Karen W. is in the house, I believe. Where are you, Karen? Are you in the United States? Or are you in somewhere else? Anyway, great to see you, and thank you for being a member. Well, so what's everybody drinking? What's everybody eating? Anybody having anything nice? I'm having a iced coffee, and I put a splash of 1% milk in it, just a splash, no sugar. I let myself have a little coconut sugar or regular sugar in my coffee in the morning, and that I'm starting to reduce. That was how I got off sugar. I isolated it to one little Lily's chocolates, by the way. Oh my God. If you're looking to get off sugar, Try Lilia's. It's sweetened with stevia. That way you'll be able to get your chocolate fix, but you won't uh, you won't have the blood sugar dysregulation. I know a lot of people who love chocolate, but they're diabetic. It's just so much better also for your pancreas if you're going to be reducing your caloric intake. Hi, Ginny. Good to see you. Water. But the bitter waters with the little bit of herb in them are really great for helping with, first off, mental health, but also it helps with the appetite. Oh, that sounds yummy. Coconut bonbons. Okay, I think we've got enough people here. We can go ahead and get started. Excuse me. So today it is hot topics. Like I said, anything goes. Whatever you guys want me to throw on, we will throw on. Oh, clean Meadows up. I wouldn't recommend 1,000-calorie diet, Karina. We have to calculate how many calories based on your level of activity, etc. Oh, added an hour of exercise. It's interesting. Yeah, I recommend cardio because cardio actually changes your metabolism, and it when the heart is beating quickly, the hypoxia. A lot of people say you don't need that. You just need to lift weights. No, it's really important that you do cardio. All right, so let's see. Sorry, I'm coughing. Something over here always makes me cough. All right. So Melissa Miller had a question. She says, does the FBI know who was at the golf course meeting and what they were talking about? Was there a spy in the camp? We can go ahead and do a blitz. We'll go ahead and do the empath prayer. I mean, a couple things I felt when I went into that energy. Number one, I felt like we had to move some boxes again. I know you guys are shocked. The first thing I felt when I was talking to these individuals was I felt like the feds were close and and the boxes that I had moved to a secure location with the missing documents, the feds are about to find them. And when they do, I'm going to be screwed. So we've got to figure out a safe way to go back in and move the boxes, which is going to be tricky. And I think the location is New Jersey. So put a pin in that, as uh, as Rachel Maddow likes to say. Let's think about that. Why is that the emotion I feel as I abide with Trump and I watch that film footage? We got to move everything and we got to move it quickly because the feds are about to find it. So that's the hit. Now you go do HCRV, like use the technique, get yourself into a quiet place, abide with him, look at the film footage, and what do you think he's trying to tell you? But that was the first hit I got. The other hit that I got was that he had been whisked away because the feds wanted to talk to him, that Trump had been whisked away, and that he was given a deal to plead guilty to lesser crimes, and he doesn't want to do that because what the feds want is to put him under protection, but they also want him to cooperate. They need additional information about, I mean, this was, excuse me, quite an extensive crime ring they're talking about. Florida, all along. I mean, what a corrupt coast the East Coast is. I mean, there's so much corruption. I mean, think about how much money we have to spend every year just with the Coast Guard monitoring the criminal activity. It's almost like pirate activity. It's taking place on the East Coast that he and several members of both political parties on the East Coast have been paid to turn their backs on certain types of activities, whether it was Epstein or something else, or selling property to people who you know are trying to hide money from questionable money sources. And again, it goes back to when we had found the documents inside Michael Cohen's home offices, and also I guess he had a storage area because I had the scene of asking for a key to open something up. The woman from the FBI, remember from a couple years ago, that was probably his storage unit. Now that we know the layout, but the point is this: the point is that when we got into those documents, we found that there was a kind of criminal activity where Trump was making money hiding money in Trump assets and also investors in Trump properties. But we also found that Ivanka's signature was all over everything and that he was basically getting other people to do the crimes for him. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah. Let's do the impasse prayer and let's see what the cards have to say about it. I'm here for about an hour and a half. I'm excited. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys, to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together we say, Amen. And I believe we have received the order to blitz, blitz, blitz away. There it goes, Joel Tilson. I was just about to. Oh, you psychic, Joel. Very sweet guy. Thank you, Joel. Yeah, let's see what we can find out about what was going on with the. I'd like to know what comes up. We'll do it from Trump's perspective. Good to see everybody. Oh, yeah. He's facing jail. Here's what happened. I'm in. So they're going to take his money. The feds have control of the money streams. And they took when did they take his bank statements? Was that yesterday? That was 24 hours after we told you. Like I'm saying, it goes boom, 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 boom. Like I had 2 hostile messages saying I should get dressed and be presentable when I give remotes. And I'm thinking to myself, you want me at 3:30 in the morning to brush my teeth? Because I know this is going to break in less than 24 hours. So, and that's kind of what happened. Like after we broke the thing about the feds being all over and trying to control his money, it did in fact break that the feds have taken control over Donald Trump's bank statements now. So the first thing that is terrifying me as Trump is the fact that I don't have control over my money. Not only do I not have control over my money, not only do I not have control over Bedminster and Mar-a-Lago, which were never my clubs anyway. They were just places where we hid money. We hid the operation. So the first thing the feds are telling me, number one, that they you're in a remote. I was kind of chuckling after I read it and I was thinking, wait a minute, did people talk to Edgar Casey like this? Didn't Edgar Casey put himself into a sleep trance? I mean, like, wait a minute, like, did people ask him to put on lipstick or no? Just give us the damn remote, Edgar. I mean, come on now. But I thought it was kind of funny. The first card is the Ace of Pentacles, which is the wealth. They know everything. They know every dime. They've taken all of his financial statements. They know where every penny is. And not only that, but they know every tax he evaded. So that's a lot of power. So what are you thinking if you are the Justice Department. What are you thinking if you are uh, the feds? What's the best you can do? You can give a deal. Look, who's the Queen of Cups? She's idealistic. She's also watching the water. She's also the mast of the boat, right? Of a Viking ship, the seas. So when we go into this energy, we see a mass arrest of a major multi-billion dollars stolen from the feds, activities on the waters, people burning their mega yachts to hide evidence. It's all so freaking over. So, but we know also that the Queen of Cups, she cuts a deal. I know a lot of you guys aren't happy about this. I know a lot of you guys, because I read people's comments, that I'm f- I'm not freaked out about the fact that everything that we got a few years ago turned out to be true. All those documents, everything turned out to be true. That's not the thing that freaks me out because I believe in HCRV. The thing that freaks me out, I'll tell you honestly, the thing that freaks me out more than anything about this whole thing is the fact that this is just happening now, and I don't understand why it's happening till now. And then you break into the records. I don't want to say break in, I do that. I say that a lot. When you access the records, according to Christopher Wray, his hands were tied by the Justice Department. So Christopher Wray is now is claiming in the remote that he couldn't go forward because his hands were tied by the Justice Department. So we can't be mad at Christopher Wray for not everything stopped. All the investigations, everything that was sitting there, it was suspended under Barr. Barr leaves, the new administration comes in, the new district attorney, the new head of the Justice Department comes in, and all these things, they start churning again. So this is stuff that is coming out from when Michael Cohen gave his 40 hours. You know, all this watching the boats. We've been talking about this forever. Large sums of money, the fact that they confiscated everything. What's his hope and fear? His hopes and fears that his legacy, he and his children are going down. That is the fear of Donald Trump. So that would be the legacy card, 10 of Pentacles. So that's the Trump organization. Yeah, that's exactly what Christopher Wray is claiming in the remote. That is, and he's going to go public with it once, I guess, they do whatever they're going to do to Bill Barr, which shocked me, by the way, when I didn't expect to have a hit like that on Bill Barr. And then all this stuff came out about Bill Barr, that he was himself facing indictment and was probably going to have his law license taken. And then this thing came out about Bill Barr and the fact that he had suppressed the stuff, because I couldn't figure out why we got the hits. And then people are just finding out about this stuff now. The final outcome for Donald Trump, great question, Melissa Miller, is that he will be incarcerated. So 2 weeks ago, they said 2.5 weeks. So we're looking at a few days now. Are they going to look, they can physically snatch him at any time. They snatched him 2 days ago. That's crazy. He's a little boy running around trying to hide the stolen stuff. I'll hide it here. Mommy and daddy found half of it. Okay, what we have to do is we have to move it from bed. We have to do that. We have to move it from New Jersey at night, but the feds have got that thing. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do? How are we going to move it? Okay, you go in. No, you go in. This is exactly what got Michael Cohen raided. You got to take everything over to Michael Cohen's offices because they won't raid the lawyer. Okay, now call the lawyer and tell the lawyer to destroy everything, you know? This is a repeat because I don't think people with personality disorders are teachable. But at this point, he's facing arrest. They did everything in their power not to arrest this guy. Yeah. Oh my God, you guys are gonna love this. Yeah, it's over for Donald Trump. Sooner rather than later, he'll probably either be arrested. Look, he has the opportunity to turn himself in. You guys know the cards. They have his money. He has no money now. The feds are everywhere. FBI card is my Queen of Pentacles. For those of you who have been watching for a few years, I chose it because I chose to make the FBI female, the hidden coin, or the mysterious woman, the mysterious company. I chose it to be Queen of Pentacles. So feds are all over his money. He has no money now. People are saying that they're freezing his assets. Why do you think that is? Why do you think they froze the assets? Can you guys think of a couple reasons why? I can. Let's discuss it. Let's discuss amongst ourselves. I think the IRS is going to get some of its money back. Remember they hired all those people over at the IRS? So, yeah. So the Fed, yeah, I think you guys are loving this. You're like, we're loving this, Whims. The Fed's got control of his money. You can see it very clearly here. You can say also the Knight of Wands moving in, which is quick, 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 which could also be an action that's happening. Hopes and fears that they will hang up the investigation on his family. It's not going to happen. He's finished. He was betrayed. In the end, his own people betrayed him. Wow. That was dismal. Discuss amongst yourselves. What do you think? They're basically saying it's going to be over in a couple days. Look, it could go on for years, but some kind of this guy's facing something in the next couple of days, and he's going to possibly do prison time. I think given his high profile, just like in Europe, they might have him under house arrest because he really can't be in a regular. But a lot, that's what they also used to do. They do it in many countries, but that they just put, you can't leave your villa. Didn't they do that to Castro for a while during the revolution? A lot of people have a problem with that, though. They feel like it's a cushy option. So they have this beautiful villa and they just hang out in their wine vineyard and entertain people, and that's their prison. So a lot of people are not okay with that solution. During the Nuremberg trials, people said absolutely no. But then you had these prisons where there was literally one or two people in them, and the only people in the prison were the Nazis that had been tried in Nuremberg because people so badly wanted them to do time in prison because they can't be with the general population. Okay, let's see. Well, Karen, good to see you here. Karen's asking about the fact that he had stuff that was taken from his desk along with his current passport. So this is someone who travels outside the United States on a regular basis. Why would he have had those folders and passport all in one area? And so let's take a look. what was going on, who was he giving the information to. And if you haven't had a chance to like yet, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Hi, Kate. Good to see you. Oh my God, I can't believe we're living through this. He was paid. It was a financial arrangement. He was given money to they negotiated a price, like, how much will you give me for this? How much will you give me for that? It's like a yard sale. That's what it looks like. You can see here double aces. You have the Fed's Ace of Swords over the Ace of Cups. So this guy was in the business. He was the love machine, right? Just a love machine, and he don't work for nobody but you. So Ace of Cups is like he's giving people the dream. You sell them the dream, right? Ace of Cups. Ace of Swords, however, is the sword of justice coming down. And then you can see here the other in relation. Six of Pentacles would indicate a possible financial issue. It can also be the law coming in over a financial issue, justice returning. You can see here with the Ace of Swords, which is a justice card, comes the Tower. I think, what is it called? Bedminster? Is that what it's called? The golf course is about to be raided. There's another raid coming in the next few days. You guys want to talk about it? Anybody surprised that there's another raid coming? Probably in the next 3 to 4 days. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. Does he know how to cooperate? Like, is he so crazy that he can't cooperate? Isn't that weird? I really feel like this guy is terrified of the people he does business with. But you can see here again the president, and look at this moon out to lunch, lunatic energy. He is stark raving crazy. It's kind of like having Caligula for a president, right? Final outcome, fighting, negotiations, desperation. I'd be curious to see how Mary Trump sees this. It's kind of like he waits too long, and then you know 3 and 4-year-old little kids, when they do terrible things, and then they finally get caught, and you put your hands on them and they're trying to squirm to get away. I won't, I promise, they know it's all over, and they're going to their room, and the toy's being taken away, and your friends are going home now because you broke the rules. I trusted you. Have you ever had to babysit and been in a situation like that? And then Joey's parents are coming to get him, and you're going to go to your room. You ever been in a situation like that with a 4 or 5-year-old? The desperation when you realize, and then I'll be good. I'll negotiate. I'll be good. No, I won't. I told you not to do that. You were given, and then you did, and now your friend has to go home. So you see what it has, that aspect. It has that kind of. The Justice Department is giving him a lot of leeway, but it moves towards indictment and prosecution, and he's going to take a deal when you're literally picking him up and dragging him kicking and screaming into his room, and his friends' parents are coming to get them. At that point he'll negotiate, when it's already too late. No boundaries, no sense of boundaries. I think it went straight on the boats. So who was the famous guy whose boat just blew up? There was another boat that just got blown up. There's another oligarch, another one of Putin's oligarchs blew their boat up. There's a lot of jokes about it. Okay, so Biden is going to the UK. When is the funeral for the Queen? Monday? Is that correct? The dignitary, when the dignitaries are. Let's see how President Biden is with at the Queen's funeral. If everything's going to be okay. Hi, Elman. Thank you for the question. And thank you all for being here. Anyone drinking anything remotely interesting? More interesting than my iced coffee with a dash of 1% milk? I'm being naughty. I know. I actually am not hungry on this diet that I'm on. I'm not really craving. Wow. The first thing that I'm feeling when I go into the energy of President Biden is that the main thing that is on Biden's mind has to do with the extreme poverty in the United States right now. He's talking a lot when I go into Biden's energy. He's talking a lot about Mississippi. He's talking a lot about the infrastructure. He's very upset about what happened in Mississippi, what's happening in Florida. They're very upset about how the poorest of the poor are suffering because of this corruption. There is some kind of a meeting that may have taken place where he was debriefed. They're taking what happened in Mississippi, what's happening with the collapse of these infrastructure. It's probably his main concern right now here in the United States. It's really a focus for him. You have him going into Britain with a very clear idea of what his priorities are, and his priorities are that the United States is really sick right now. There's a lot of people who are suffering financially. We have 200,000 people facing housing foreclosures because they bought more house than they could afford. They didn't anticipate a rising inflation. Then you have on top of that the corruption with collapsing infrastructure. So all of that is the main stuff that's hitting me as the president. He comes in as the King of Swords. So this is a tough guy. This is a strong cookie. This is somebody who's ready to do the work. He's going steely-eyed. However, the issues back home have to do with corruption, people stealing money, the whole Brett Favre thing. I mean, what kind of human being would let children drink poisonous, muddy water? I mean, this is a intense grief when we get this energy of the Two of Pentacles because it's associated with Archangel Raphael. So this is a health concern. Biden is concerned about the health. When Archangel Raphael comes in, which is associated with healing waters, it's usually a health crisis or health concern. So it also creates a very angry, steely-eyed determination that this BS that led to a health crisis. People are getting cancer from this stuff. People's hair is falling out because there's so much heavy metal like lead, which is associated with bone cancers in the water they're drinking. Never mind oil and other toxic chemicals that are in the groundwater. So the final outcome is that he wants emergency aid coming in from the feds. It's something he's very focused on. Six of Pentacles, justice prevailing over an injustice. I'm very surprised to see that, but immediately when I went into his remote, his mind was completely on what happened in Mississippi, what happened in these poor neighborhoods, and just the steely-eyed determination that he was going to do something about it, like to the point where it's OCD. When you get that kind of reaction, yeah, then he comes back, King of Cups. That's the clarification. I like this president. He wants them prosecuted. He's going to publicly say something. Has he gone to Mississippi yet? He's talking about going to Mississippi. He's saying you guys are going to be okay in Mississippi. Strength returns, financial aid returns. Look at Biden. Look at what Biden's bringing to Mississippi. What a great man. Don't worry, he's coming, and people are in trouble. It's going to be okay. That's his main focus. He's very worried about our collapsing infrastructure. Did you hear about this? What happened to those people in Mississippi? That their water, the kid can't drink their water. But that was so crazy that was the first remote I went into. Good on him. Yeah, he's Spirit Beyond the Stars. That's driving him crazy. But King of Swords is a harsh king. So he's also the king who goes to war. So we could be seeing Biden being extremely aggressive about what's happening, not because it's a political point, but because he's genuinely outraged. Two of Pentacles, I read as corruption. I read it like the juggler, the con artist. And it was over the issue of money. It was in the 8th house, which was his opposition. So who he was having issues with was somebody engaged in corruption. Yeah, corruption in DC. Okay, I'm having fun. Okay, Equus 3333. Cheers, folks. Well, let's see if there's going to be rioting in the streets when Trump gets arrested. You guys think so? Crazy times, crazy times. I feel good. I woke up at 6 a.m. and because Mila wants breakfast, she starts giving me the most beautiful kisses, and then I say, okay, I'm going to get up early. So I get up, I make her some nice breakfast at 6 a.m. I make myself my coffee. I think I did a little bit of cleaning. I watched some news, and at around 8:30, I know what it was. Around 9:30, I broke my fast, and I had my peanut butter smoothie with the peanut butter powder, which is like fat-free. It's awesome. And I passed out. I guzzled this big, giant thing. And I think I did a little gardening too. And around 9:30, 10 a.m., I'm like, I'm tired. And I woke up at noon. So, yeah, that's not exactly. So does that technically, did I technically wake up at 6 or did I technically wake up at noon? I don't know. Oh, gosh. Let's see here. No, there's not going to be any riots. It's over. A lot of these people went to jail. They just sentenced what did they sentence? They sentenced somebody else today, right? Look at this, walking away. from a battle they can't win. The other in relationship, Ace of Pentacles. Where do you think the money came from? The money came from for the protest. The money came from to pay for these protests, for the military training, et cetera, et cetera. This took a tremendous amount of money, and they're closing the money streams down. We know when we did a remote on Ginny Thomas that she had said, well, I can get the money. So they were getting access to money overseas from governments that were hostile to the United States. And then they were using it to prop up the movement that was trying to take down the United States. So again, there's something here about money being acquired or access to money, the other having access to money, the hopes and the fears, the unity of the nation. The final outcome is the Knight of Pentacles. It's stopgap. Oh, did he give a speech today? I should listen. I didn't. Oh, he got 70 days, 5 days in jail? Oh, poor boo-boo. A lot of those guys are cooperating. You give them 75 days, you bury the more serious stuff, and you put them in witness protection or something like that, which is what's going on with a lot of them. And just more arrests, I think, are going to be happening. But I don't see, we're just, I feel like everybody is just wanting to grow marijuana and be plant-based. You don't have to be vegan, but mostly a healthy plant-based diet. Kumbaya, make love, not war, go off grid. I feel like these guys fell in love with some beautiful hippie lady and she's growing marijuana. And I always get that energy. Come away with me in the night. Right? It's got that kind of lure of the sirens. Like we have the Proud Boys based out of Vancouver, Washington, which is across the water. But everybody smokes marijuana, and marijuana as a spirit doesn't want anybody to be fighting with anybody. Marijuana is a fertile female. They have something else in mind. It's a fertile female plant that's ripe with seeds, like ovaries bursting forth. So what does the plant want? The plant wants babies and sensuous sex and honey and delicious food to fatten up the mama because she bringing the baby. So bring on the food. And that's the energy of marijuana. You want to end war, give all the soldiers marijuana and beautiful women. Problem solved. So we have again over 3 of Cups, the siren song with the elixir. Here, it comes in tincture form now, much safer for your lungs. Here, take a drink and come away with me into the forest. Hear the siren song. Leave the battle and come with us. I've got herb. It has that. I get that a lot here. It just, they collapse into the general population, right? The family emerges with the other. Home, family, and hearth. New beginnings, new marriages, new children. Hate takes a lot of energy. Pot needs to be banned. It's bad for your health. I think that everybody taking it is not necessarily a good thing, Gunner, but for somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder, you look at the research out of Walter Reed, I think it can help people with PTSD. I think it's been very helpful. It's also used by remote viewers. Okay, what else do we have? When will we get... Also good for cancer patients, breast cancer, certain cancers where you have nausea. 300 and the FDA has approved 350 something separate research studies on cannabis being effective for treatment of everything from PMS to it's a good medicine, but it shouldn't be abused. I agree. It should not be abused. All right, we're going to take a look now about the economy. Now, was it Pennington just decided to give the company to their employees? Is that right? So there's this energy. We've talked about the new green economy, that greed is dead, and instead everyone comes together to a new social contract, which is the greed of the planet. So what does Gaia want? What does the planet want? What does she want? She's a living organism. We are a part of her, right? We're attached. We're like a cell on this massive living being called Gaia, Patagonia. Thank you. She wants to love her children and she wants to have as many babies as possible. And she wants to love you as much as she can. So, oh yeah, cannabis is used for migraine because of it's a vasodilate for vasoconstriction, vasodilation. Also for I took a class on this, glaucoma. Okay. Herbal remedies for hot flashes. Some can help. It depends on what the cause of the hot flash is. If the cause of the hot flash is low estrogen, then that's going to be different than, say, a congested liver. If the problem is congested liver, then we want to give liver supportive. If the problem is that you need to stimulate estrogen, then CBD and cannabis will actually help raise safe levels of estrogen to safe levels in women who have declining estrogen, which is why doctors will prescribe cannabis therapy to women who are not responding to normal hormone therapy. Can't believe I said that all without taking a breath. Okay. Corporate. Let's take a look at this. What's going on with the corporate community? Here's one thing I will say about cannabis. When I had my 4 wisdom teeth removed, I had them put me to sleep with that drug oh my God, that's a scary drug. I don't like that drug. That one where you go down and I don't know. Anyway, after somebody had to take me home. You can't take yourself home after that. But the doctor said was going to prescribe opioids, which are addictive. It's like, I'm not going to take that. I can take opioids or cannabis syrup, Slurpee syrup. I took the cannabis syrup because I don't want to become an opioid addict. That's what happens. People go to the dentist and then they become addicted to opioids. They're dangerous. Whereas the Slurpee, you just feel woo-woo and fall asleep. And you can just stop after that. It's not the same thing. All right. The corporate, I think in terms of corporation, there's a question here about corporate greed. The first house is 2 of Pentacles, which would indicate corruption, juggling coin. It's like the person who is stealing, etc. And you also have some kind of civil war taking place within corporate America, where people are simply having moral issues. It's starting to have an impact because you can see here there's a conflict happening about it. In terms of the other in relationship to the issue, you can see the feds are saying that this is not entirely legal because the other in relationship to the corporate greed and to the corruption, the 2 of Pentacles, is the feds in the 8th house. So the feds are there. There is some question about whether or not this is a federal crime, some of what we're looking at in terms of there's still some confusion about whether or not they're actually skirting the law or breaking the law. It's interesting that the tax people have come on because they're trying to determine whether or not these folks can even legally do what they're doing. The hope and the fear. I was really surprised about that last throw with Biden, this concern about corruption. I mean, we basically have a bunch of rich, corrupt criminals that got rich by being criminals, and now they don't want to pay their taxes on the money they gained by being criminals. It's crazy as heck. Yeah, it will pass. And look at this again, the King of Swords. This is a time of war against bad people who went to DC and did bad things and told themselves and everybody else that it was okay. Well, it wasn't okay. And now there are consequences. And the consequences are that the feds and the IRS are all over it. And I think that a lot of people are going to be prosecuted. It doesn't surprise me that a lot of main corporations are starting to have these types of conflict. You see that Five of Wands there over the greed, Two of Pentacles over the corruption. And then you have that steely-eyed King of Swords coming in, which represented Biden in the previous throw. And that's like the Ice King. It's cold, it's ice, but it can also be justice wielded out. So I do think that we're just all disgusted. We're all disgusted with what's happened in this country, and we're all disgusted with what these people did. But that raid, be ready. I just want to give a heads up because I wanted to make sure to get to these things to the remotes, but be ready for more major arrest coming out of Florida and the East Coast because of this energy coming up about this major money scheme. I don't know, what would you call it? Money laundering scheme? They're gonna be doing a bunch more arrests, and I know that Interpol was involved and has done some arrests also with some stuff. Other people wanted to know about Putin and Xi, if I could talk a little bit about it. They're meeting. The problem with that, I think, is that Xi himself is they're having all kinds of financial problems because they don't have a tourism industry right now because of COVID, because their housing market has collapsed. They're probably looking at having to sell foreign assets in order to recoup enough money so that they can finish building the apartments that are abandoned in China. A lot of upset people. Now, a lot of people in China are refusing to pay their taxes. They're refusing to pay their bills, and China is facing another revolution. And so we're looking at a possibility of another revolution taking place in China, but we're also looking at a possible another revolution taking place in Russia as more and more people call for Putin to be removed. And so both Russia and China are facing serious economic problems, so much so in the case of Russia that we may be looking at an actual economic collapse. I think according to the last remote we did, it was something like 35% of their military has been lost. They're basically bankrupted. They let their military fall apart because they stole money from their own infrastructure, which is similar to what's happening in the United States, where we have just open, brazen cases of neighborhood money being stolen from neighborhoods and infrastructure. Some version of that has happened in Russia, and some version of that has happened in China, and some version of that has happened here in the United States. And that is why Biden is determined to do something about it and say something about it. In terms of what I think, my concern is that Xi and Putin band together because they're both in such a disastrous situation, and they attempt to hold on to the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. They're claiming that they have 500 Russian soldiers still in Zaporizhzhia. That is not what the remote has said. The remote has said, based on the remote, maybe less than 200 are left. Many fled. There are reports of the commanders fleeing in some cases. They're putting on civilian clothing, stealing cars, taking off. They're having trouble getting out through the south, the Donbass area, because of the shelling. But it looked to me, from what I could figure out, was that there were less than 200 soldiers left in Zaporizhzhia. So I mean, I think they should surrender. Yeah, Don. I mean, it's like any other medication. I won't take an opioid because it's dangerous. And I did that 23andMe, and according to 23andMe, my genetics, I'm at risk of opioid addiction. And I've only ever had codeine, but like I don't want to mess with that stuff. Advil, when I get a migraine or PMS, I'll take an Advil, but I've had 2 or 3 patients hemorrhaging with abdominal hemorrhage from Advil. So so doctors are now prescribing THC or something else because it causes blood thinning in the stomach. Speaking of which, it looks like Sergey Lavrov will be retiring. He made some kind of announcement. Hopefully he'll get when we did a remote on him, his health wasn't that great. We already talked about Trump given a choice. I mean, is it going to be is he going to be like the 4-year-old, 5-year-old kid who gets caught making a mess with mommy's things? Are we going to have to physically pick him up and drag him off to his room, or is he going to agree to stop? He's the annoying little kid that is not. He's going to cry. No, mommy, I promise. And it's too late for that. More than likely, it's the latter, right? All right, the future of Brett Favre. Obama did it. Yeah. Turmeric is good. It's also a blood thinner, though, so we don't give it to people on warfarin. Oh, did he leave the G20? Well, he's got a stomach ulcer from what he tells me, so he needs to go take care of himself. Okay, Brett Favre. Oh, he's going to have to testify before Congress. Won't that be fun? He's completely confused. He's going to cooperate. He's going to get a lesser sentence because he was told that it was okay. Theft. He's holding on to the money. That's a sign of greed. That was the deal. There's the theft. There's federal officers. There's an investigation. Confusion. Yeah, I didn't know it was wrong to steal from poor black kids. It's like, that's a bad thing? It's bad that little children are drinking toxic water with lead in it? Is this a problem? I didn't know. Please give me a break. Oh, we have a question here. What's our relationship with China? Will they be our next adversary? Oh, probably not. Can they afford to be anyone's adversary right now? Somebody had asked me energetically, how do they fix their current situation because they're so overspent. I mean, by trillions. They're missing what, 6 trillion? Think about all the projects that they've had to stop all over the world. And then those projects are going to cost money. And then the bottom line is there's never going to be enough money to do what China wants to do. There's just not enough money. Let's see about the future of China and the US. If I were them, they are part of the reason that it's expensive to buy houses in the US because they're invested in our real estate corporations and they own a lot of this stuff. So if there's a massive sell-off here, Australia and Europe, we might see prices dramatically dropping also in the United States. if they start selling off foreign assets, which is what I would do if I were Xi, because the people who bought condos in China have a right to not be living in a place that doesn't have a roof. I mean, if you've seen some of the videos, people are coming in and they're like, you stopped work on our condo and it was supposed to be ready last year, and this is all of our money. Yeah, well, we ran out of money. Why did Huawei and Evergreen run out of money? Because we overinvested in future projects. Where? Well, we invested in Kenya, and we invested in China, and we invested in the United States, and we threw money into this, and we threw money into that. Okay, well, we need to come up with some more money. Well, we don't. And now the check is due. So we work it out with China. The truth be told, a lot of people may blame Xi. Xi has an American education. He used to live in Iowa. People think he's enamored with the United States. Some old-time communists from the olden days feel that he brought changes to China, that there are changes taking place in China. The sick American food and the sick American greed is what's destroying China. And so we need another communist Chinese revolution in China, and people that are blaming Xi. So if in their mind, Xi is seduced by the West. From the conservative perspective of the Chinese, this is the guy doing business with America. These are the people that brought Kentucky Fried Chicken and Bank of America and Burger King and Walmart and all of these other corporations to China. And this idea that maybe trying to be like America, trying to be capitalist like America is what put us in this situation. So now we're seeing this kind of murmuring and revolution where this is not our values. This is not what it is to be Chinese. It was about all of us helping each other. So now people are refusing to pay anything. We'll see how it goes. I think it works itself out. You can see here a 9 of Cups coming in, which is the wish card is granted. Also a Lover's card, which would indicate cooperation or working with one another. And we can see here the United States response, grief and Ace of Cups. So there's compassion and a willingness to work with one another. A lot of people are also still angry at China because of the amount of money that was lost all over the world because of COVID. So, a million Americans died. Is China going to be held accountable? Are they going to have to pay some type of restitution to those countries that were economically, devastated by the fact that China couldn't control their public health policies? So then you have this kind of Knight of Wands energy. Knight of Wands is a card that is quick, it's fast, it can be a kind of aggressive energy. When you pair it with something like an Eight of Wands, which is a quick kind of an energy, it could indicate that some kind of quick negotiations are happening. We'll have to see. But the fact that Six of Swords is moving in, which is smoother waters lay ahead for us, and Temperance or calmer winds prevail, would indicate that we will get through this with China. The truth of the matter is they need economic help from the United States. They don't need to be at war with the United States. They don't need us to be sanctioning them and boycotting their products on Amazon the way we've been sanctioning Russia. It will not go well for China if they put the United States in that situation. So cooler heads prevail at this point. Yeah. All right, I think I'm going to be finishing up. Yeah, China bought, that's very true. They bought a lot of real estate. I think that, a lot of the buildings we're living in that are owned by this corporation, Evergreen, these corporations that own buildings where you rent and you think it's an American company that owns the new apartments you're renting or the new condos, but it's actually a corporation that's from China. It's mainland China. And so all of those properties, when they came in and bought up those properties, many people argue that that was partly responsible for increasing rents in here and also in Australia. The prices went up when foreign money came in. Not just China, also Japan. They bought some property also, but we'll see. The takeaway that I would leave people with as a remote viewer is that it looks to me over the next 4 months we're going to have an adjustment as China begins to sell off in order to recoup some money to complete projects. And they're simply going to have to do what they're going to have to do, which is to pull back on projects and sell off projects and start having partnerships with some of the projects, because you will never have enough money to take over the world. It's just instead they should go. They're going to do what we're going to do. Take care of your citizens. Get back. That's what's going to happen. All right, love and light. If you're still trying to get in for a reading, you can go to tarotwithwhimsy.com. Thank you, everyone, for your support of the channel. No, I don't think Netanyahu's going to be the PM. I think that he is good to see you here, Tova. I think there's some real evidence that he may have done some things that are not good. We'll just see how the investigations unfold with Netanyahu. But no, I don't think it's going to go well for him going forward. All right, be well, everyone. Take care. Thanks a lot.